InShalla and Ashe. Blessings, everybody. Thanks for joining me for today's daily snippet. I almost said my weekly muse, so that's pretty funny. Hello there, I'm Tonya Dean. It's Friday, July 30th. We're going to talk about the inner guide, but let's look at the elemental energy of the day before we truly dive in. So it's a Yin Earth or Yaya day, or Yai. I think that's how you say it. So Yin Earth would actually be the soil, where yesterday's Yang Earth was like a big mountain. And then we have the rabbit on the branch. So in directions, rabbit, horse, and rooster, and also the rat, those are directional, like pure energy or essence. So we have the east, the south, the west, and the north. So it's like the pure form of each of the elements: wood, fire, metal, mineral, or water. And they really don't like each other, in opposition. So like the horse and the rat don't get along, and the rabbit and the rooster don't get along either. But this person, for today, if this was a person, this person makes decisions out of kindness. The kindness comes from the element of wood. That's a kind energy. This person would also have a lot of friends or siblings or both. Where yesterday it was kind of siblings, might have been sibling rivalry or some enemies. Today's a day of kind of comfort because they're in the same element, that yin energy. And did anybody else have some nice wind, thunder, and rain last night? It wasn't a monsoon, but it was definitely flowing, and we absolutely need water, right? So today would be a day that I would actually ground into water, any kind of water, flowing water, fast-moving water, still water, bubbling water, heavenly rain water, even drinking lots of water. This person has hidden support from the parents, the fire, but sometimes when we have too much of something, we need to add less of it, because too much of a good thing generally isn't always a good thing. That's why we should always watch what we wish for, be authentic in that journey. So, I wouldn't ground into fire today. I do have my candles burning on my ancestor shrine. Metal, possibly. This is a person's performance. If this was, how was your performance today? Metal, that's the energy of an earth. Day master is performance. It's the output. Again, but this person would be in a good career, would be like a management career, something where you had to make decisions, getting clarity on decisions. Some people are better at that than others. Probably has a very earthy body. Earth body's morphology is they're more square, top to bottom, like their shoulders and their hips and all the way down are the same width. They look kind of rectangular more than square, actually, now that I say that out loud. But they need to move the lymphatic system. They'll have problems with all of that earth element there. But the cosmic highway, we have our inner guidance on. It's our beacon of our intuition, our subconscious energy. It's that psychic intuition inside of us that we all have. So it's like the spiritual input that connects our inner and our outer world, this frequency. So this is the source energy that connects all of us actually out to co-creation, so we can also be co-creators. It really is our direct beam to source from our heart center. And we're beyond aware of our spiritual reality today, from inside to out and outside to in, flows in both directions. But the first part is actually absolutely to forgive any judgments that you might have, that you might be holding against, mostly within yourself. Sometimes we put these memories, mostly the karmic kind, or the not so healthy kind, I should say. Maybe you let yourself down. Maybe you've had poor judgments where you made a decision that maybe ended up not so great. I actually talk about this in the Energy Body Demystified. It's the awareness phase. I think I talked about that a little bit last week. But this is where you feel like you failed somewhere or on something. So our personal love story is releasing all of these grudges that you might have held against yourself. And when we inflict, our own personal self-punishment on ourselves, it not only makes us feel worse, but it actually puts a block right in front of our creativity screen, the movie that we actually all can create. Then, to add to it, it creates problems that actually mirror or reflect the original pattern and what we are creating that becomes manifest in this dimension, this reality, because it holds us back. So we have to access that dimension. So we forgive the past, send it free, release it, absolutely, with actually love. Just send it back where it came from. I usually resend all cords, like with love, send them back. And then you get to have both source and your heart merged into your own freedomness and your own queendomness to get those future insights, those intuitive hits. So if you've been watching, I would say for over the past week, maybe a little longer, we've actually been observing ourselves, our own approach, our attitudes, our ability to actually follow through for our own love story, the personal one, our innate inside love of our own selves. So if you've ever felt bad during any time during this past week or so, then your love story is actually, it's falling short a bit. It's like missing the pebble or bumping a rock or something. So in this cosmic soup, it's like our experiences are literally pointing. I kind of see those hunting dogs that point. It's like literally giving us the direction, the wind to this higher understanding, or, maybe a frequency of knowing what your heart authentically needs on a day-to-day, ultimately, from yourself in your inner world. So when we clear this path with our heart and our intuition, it's like our God channel, the subscription channel, or at least that's kind of what I call it. That's what I see it to be. But going forward with our future options, then we get hits from our inner guides on what is truly in alignment for what our heart authentically needs. And then the direction might come with this alert signal or this information highlight. Then you're going to get those intuitive hits about all those things that are going to come. So it's really like getting this instant download in a way. So where is your personal love story? Look into different aspects of your inner world today. Look into your heart center, your fourth chakra, and also your intuition, your grid, for the highest course that you should take in that area of your life. So today is a day where we need to ultimately, literally forgive the past, all of it, whatever that looks like. Listen to our intuition from a heart-based perspective, getting like a view from the top of a mountain, or looking through things through the eye of God is kind of what that looks like. God's eyeglasses, those spiritual lessons, having self-realized inner story. So you want to see how far that you literally have come, and also how far you've grown with just yourself, not anything outside of you, but just yourself. So you want to remain open, remove absolutely all judgment, all negative thought processes, and truly see through those eyes of God, those God's eyeglasses. So everything we need to see is actually in the book of life, our personal book in the other world, out in this galactic library. So this is a spiritual energy of our personal love story. So you kind of want to ask yourself, are you willing to forgive all and every past mistake with yourself, this incarnation, and others, other timelines? Release the doubt, the guilt, the shame, the blame, all those yucky juju words. And just promise to stay literally in, not just in touch, but with the frequency and the energies and the vibrations of your personal love story. Have that promise. Then we're well on our way into the dimensional energy of the fifth. No longer having to prove, do, or go, just be in this high vibe spiritual love merged with source, co-creator, essence kind of thing. So you can kind of feel the tingling on your body when you start even just saying that out loud. And just kind of support, taking time for yourself, bringing in deep love, self-love. All of this really assists in this integration of truth and having this affinity or authenticity with our higher self, our Sira, what that even looks like. But violet is the color for today. The crown, obviously, because I'm talking about intuition. So you could bring in any shade of purple, really. Whatever shade brings intuitive insight into you and for you. It could even be white or light. So that's why I'm wearing white today. I traditionally don't wear white because I have a white background, but it doesn't look too horrific. Really go with what your heart is drawn to on a day like today, the one that your soul needs as guidance to reflect upon. And the angelic beings for today, again, we have Raziel, which we're loving, right? The secrets of God. So this angel is also known as the Da Vinci angel because he assists in helping us understand this high frequency of this metaphysical kind of lore, which I could consider alchemy, like Saint Germain-ish. You could call on him to increase your claircognizance. That's our ability to psychically just know things, removing the blocks to our spiritual gifts. Take my quiz, and I have a couple quizzes actually, but who doesn't like to take a quiz really? I like doing them. They're kind of fun. And we also have Sandalphon, who's online today. This is actually Metatron's twin. So we had Metatron yesterday, and these two are brothers. They work really closely together. So today, if you are in need of assistance with forgiveness, call in Sandalphon to carry your message through. And you're going to intuitively know if your prayer, your invocation has been sent on that hyperdrive, that hyperspace. And you'll also know what actions that you need to take. So this is the musical angelic being. So I guess, I might be called to channel in some songs again today, and to stay in your highest vibrational frequency too. You could also call in Jeremial. This is the self-help angel, the mercy of God. And the thing, like one of the best things about Jeremial, that's kind of what I think or what I'm called to say. He's our own personal psychologist out in the spirit world. So can you just imagine yourself in the realm of spirit, laying on a fluffy cloud, talking to this archangel Jeremial? I mean, I can, and I probably have, really. So he really helps us get to the root cause of every and any issue so we can literally shift and make those changes. So you want to ask him to help you replace, which is awesome for today, all of the old negative mental patterns with new ones. So it's believed that he actually oversees our Akashic records, the Book of Life, those shadow records. It's like that galactic library. That's where you're going to find him. And he literally reviews all of them upon our transition day, or the day that they call death, right? That's kind of like our life spiritual growth lessons. And the main question that he asks us or you is, how much did you love? So I thought this was kind of prophetic because I'm talking about our own personal love story, right? So I think we can literally ask that of ourselves in the physical as well, not just in the spirit world or the realm of ancestors and so much more. And he also assists us to reconfigure things so that we live more from our heart, not just from our heart, but a heart-centric, being heart-centered in that place, just envisioning ourselves from a future perspective of our higher self, which is called our Sira and the Dagara, in a benevolent light, the most benevolent light that's ever possible. So he's like this inspirational act of self-love, assisting us in making those changes that are necessary to really move forward with our own personal love story, really, or anything in our world that we need to shift. So ultimately, if you feel blocked on your spiritual journey, I would have Jeremial infuse you with this renewed self-love, creating enthusiasm. And he also assists in not only understanding, but also developing those intuitive gifts, like clairvoyance and clairsentience, clairaudience kind of comes to me as well. So I would totally call him in. I was actually really excited when I had the idea to bring him in today. But the card of today, I stuck with the Consciousness Ascension deck. It's got this crazy long name. So Cosmic Ascension, it kind of has a few things that resonate there. But what's happening is the title's really long, but it ultimately is this light language deck. That's kind of what it is. And today I pulled the Joy card. I was trying to fix my screen, by the way. I pulled the Joy card. This is a serious initiation card. You can see that at the bottom. But the Syrians actually have this deep connection with humanity. If you've ever studied the Syrians, I kind of studied more of the Lyrians more than the Syrians. I mean, they're all amazing. I think we all have a little star seed from each of them in some DNA galactic form. But these guys actually, now that I said that out loud, they really helped in the structure of our human DNA in just different profound kind of ways. So that's kind of, I mean, I find that intriguing and curious. Anyway, but they've evolved into this, they've evolved both the mental and the emotional balance, those frequencies, those energies, and those vibrations. So they see this broader picture, this mountainous view perspective that really doesn't lose neutrality from creating emotional turbulence. They're in their flow. So this suit of cards is all about initiation. The Syrians began like this focus towards change and progress. It's obviously it's elevated progress. So we are truly meant to be in joy in our reality. It's relative to different states of awareness and consciousness, like peace or exuberance. My go-tos, peace, joy, happiness. I do bring in love now, which has been kind of interesting. But the funny thing about this card is it actually truly resonates with today's energy, which, you can't make this shift up. So it's about releasing old pain, old trauma, anything that's a block in our way of getting into our coherency, our flow of joy, the water. Water is flow, right? So it's amplifying our natural loving state and assisting us in literally flourishing. And when I say flourishing, it's not just for ourselves, but it's also for others. Anything that's surrounded in our garden, it could be your pets. It literally could be a garden. It could be a bird. It could be anything. It's the environment, inside and outside. And just releasing any of those past hurts and the need actually to control different outcomes. So it's like seeking natural joy, be in the nature of joy, fresh flowers, animals, even the air of laughter, imagine the humor that a buzzing bee might have, or even a hornet or the wind. Just find ways to be more loving in your heart, in your day-to-day or your heart-to-heart interactions. Like be in the joy, smile inside and out. I actually have a meditation called the Inner Smile in Soliciting Solitude. That's kind of funny. I should listen to that. Some affirmations for today is that my joy enhances my life. That kind of goes with the card, my inner joy story. I am forgiving my authentic heart. We kind of get in the way of our own heart space. Usually beliefs that aren't even our own kind of come through, or those negative thoughts. But we're past that journey because we're rising into this frequency, right? I have transcended all my old karmic patterns, or I am opening up to my next spiritual love story, or my own personal love story for that matter. Could be either way. So InShalla and Ashe, I've got to get my weekend rollout on TikTok, my cowrie shell divination, if you haven't watched that. Today is pretty interesting as well. It's like we're getting wisdom from other worlds kind of coming in today. Like this wisdom is not of our world. It's ancient, old. It kind of feels Lemurian, Syrian, kind of totally not from our galaxy kind of wisdom. That's kind of what I saw in the spread today. And it's kind of outside of ourselves, so I know it's galactic. So check that out as well. And as always, thanks for joining me. I hope I've made your day. InShalla, Ashe.